All right, we're going to reread The New Friend by Maria Puncel and illustrations by Ed Martinez. Remember, this is realistic fiction. It means it could really happen. It hasn't happened, but it's all real kinds of things that could happen. All right, let's go ahead and turn the page. Martine, Louise, and I lived in the city. Next door was an old house. No one had lived there for a long time. One day, a work crew came with pails and brushes. They started to wash and paint the empty house. After they were done and the paint had dried, the house looked pretty and new. The next day, a big truck pulled up. It was full of crates and boxes. A crew unloaded the boxes off the truck. A new family would soon live there. So these are the three boys right here. Remember in our last video we talked about how we knew that they were friends because they hung out together, they're smiling and looking at each other. And we know that they're curious because they're kind of hiding a little bit behind the car, but they're watching what's going on. Okay, and so the trucks are moving in and we could figure out that people are moving in because they have a moving truck with boxes. Okay. All right, here it says, today Luis went over to the house next door. He met a boy called Makoto. Then we all met Makoto. Makoto was 7 years old, just like us. So I want to remind you, do we know the name of the narrator yet? No, we don't. We don't know the name of the narrator. But we do know that the narrator is a young boy. We know this is not the narrator because this is Luis. It already says that Luis is knocking on the door and he met a boy named Makoto, so this is obviously Makoto. Okay? So one of these two boys is one of the boys that's telling the story, one of them. And he just always refers to himself as I. When you're the narrator of a story, if you're the one telling the story, you use the word I when you're talking about yourself. Okay? Before long, we found out that Makoto played soccer. He could keep running and running. He was good at learning things too. He learned all of our names by the end of the game. Soon, Makoto's family was all moved in. We met his mother and father. They were glad that Makoto had made some new friends. While Makoto's mother and father went to buy food, Makoto stayed and played with us. When Makoto's mother and father rejoined us, Martine, Makoto, and I helped them carry the bags into the house. Makoto said he would show us around his house. Then we went up to look at Makoto's room. Makoto still had a lot of boxes to unpack. He had some nice toys and kites. He said that on the next windy day, we could bring his kites outside and fly them. He said I could fly a kite by myself. Then we went outside to look at Makoto's pictures from Japan. He had them in a green book. On the first page, we saw Makoto's old house in Japan. On the next page, we saw Makoto's family in Japan. The last page had pictures of Makoto's friends. They showed Makoto's 7th birthday party. Makoto said he wishes we could meet his old friends. At the end of the day, Makoto's mother and father repaid us for helping with cookies. We said please and thank you and ate up. Makoto's father said he had a new job in the city. Makoto would be going to our school. We were all glad about that. We said goodbye to Makoto and his mother and father. Then we went home to our families. We were glad to have a new friend next door. Okay, and that's the end of the story. So again, did we ever find out who the name of the narrator that's talking? No, we never figured that out. We know Makoto's the new kid. We know that Luis is one of the names of the kids okay? And Martine is the other one. But when the narrator talks about himself, he uses the word I. And nowhere in here have we been able to find out what his name is, just because he's the one telling the story. Okay? All right.